All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, Again, my name is Jay, and today we're going to talk about 10 things to beware of in early sobriety. But first, if you haven't yet, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you care about your sobriety as much as we do, then make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. All right, let's get started. If you're anything like me, you probably thought about getting sober at least 100 times. But once you finally did get the ball rolling, you didn't know what or who to look out for or exactly how to maintain your sobriety. So to help launch you in the right direction, let's go over 10 things to be aware of in early sobriety. The first thing to be aware of in early sobriety is feeling better. I know that sounds weird, but here's what happens. We all get a few days sober and we start thinking that we're feeling better and maybe that sobriety was maybe a little too easy. Or maybe that we were worried over nothing. Then the thought starts creeping back in, such as maybe we'll just drink in moderation, or maybe we can just drink on Friday night. Then you wind up drinking all weekend and waking up Monday morning hungover and counting the seconds until it's 5 o'clock, again. And slowly but surely, you're back to daily binge drinking. The second thing to be aware of in early sobriety is your friends that still drink. Hanging out with the same people that contributed to your wild times will most likely contribute to more wild times. Your friends have no reason to cut back on their bad habits, and exposing yourself to them too early will most likely lead you right back to where you started, which is daily binge drinking. But the good news is that in time, when you lead by example in sobriety, you might just motivate and inspire some of these same friends to get sober too, or at least to maybe cut back on their own alcohol use. If they want to, that is. The third thing to be aware of in early sobriety is jinxing it. Don't start thinking that after a couple of days or even after a couple of weeks of sobriety that you're completely sober and now it's time to announce it to the world.
I've done it! I'm sober once and for all!
It's great to be proud of yourself, and you should be, and you will be. But celebrating too early may lead to thoughts that you're in complete control of alcohol cravings and that you can overcome any and all temptations too quickly. I keep reading comments from people saying things like, hey, I'm 2 weeks sober and I went to the bar and I didn't drink. It was really easy. And guess who I never end up hearing from ever again? I see it too often when people get overconfident and put themselves directly in the path of temptation of alcohol and the party lifestyle. Remember this. If you roll the dice enough, eventually you're gonna lose. The fourth thing to be aware of in early sobriety is hanging out at the same places. Sobriety isn't just removing a beer can or a glass of wine from your hand. It's a total lifestyle change. Alcohol's toxic, and alcohol is now your toxic ex. Think about your last toxic relationship. After you broke up, did you keep going to their house? Did you keep going to all the same places that you knew you were gonna see them? Did you keep hanging out with their friends and keep looking at old pictures of the two of you together? No, or at least I hope not. Some of you definitely did. So why do the same thing with alcohol? Get it out of the house. Stop sitting in the parking lot at the liquor store. Stop driving past the gas station that you always grab the six-pack after work at. Repeat after me. Alcohol is my toxic ex, and we broke up for a reason. The fifth thing to be aware of in early sobriety is thinking that maybe it'll be different now if I have a drink. After about a month of sobriety, you may start thinking that you could have a drink and maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe I can have one drink with dinner. That's responsible, right? Having a drink with dinner. But why did you drink in the first place? Because of the flavor or because of the feeling? You can convince yourself all you want that the red zin pairs well with the lamb, but you know damn well that you drank it because of the feeling. And we can easily become addicted again to anything that can give us good feelings on demand. Face it, we all want to feel good, but when we give the power of feeling good over to alcohol, we are in turn powerless to create our own joy and our own happiness. The sixth thing to be aware of in early sobriety is other bad habits, as in picking up other bad habits to feel better. We call that cross addictions. There'll be a link to that video in the video description down below. We just talked about wanting to feel better, and again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel better, but be aware that feeling better is one of the two main reasons why people drink. The first reason is to feel better, and the second reason is to escape. A lot of people that get sober end up consuming more sugar, caffeine, nicotine, and even weed, and then justify it because, well, at least it's not alcohol. And whatever road that you take to getting sober is up to you. And always remember that this community is no judgment sobriety. We always like to say to give sobriety a healthy buddy or a healthy friend, like diet, exercise, and new hobbies. Your brain is learning how to experience life sober. I'm going to say that again. Your brain is learning how to experience life sober. And while it's building these new associations, a great plan of action is to pair sobriety with, say, exercise, with eating better, staying busy, starting new hobbies, or even getting back into old hobbies, preferably healthy ones. Quitting drinking is going to add years to your life. And wouldn't it be awesome that if during your next family reunion or during the holidays, if you were looking better and feeling better, so much so that you wound up inspiring your friends and family to become the best that they can be. The seventh thing to be aware of in early sobriety is boredom. So let's do a fun activity in the comment section down below. So you're gonna pause the video right now and comment down below your own list of 10 activities that help you to beat the cravings, stay busy, and keep your mind off of alcohol. There's definitely gonna be somebody that's new to our community and are gonna be looking for inspiration down in the comment section down below. So this will be your opportunity to inspire them just as maybe you have been inspired by this community. All right, pause the video right now. All right, we're back. So don't start thinking that sobriety is gonna be so hectic and dramatic as all the dumb stuff that we did when we were drunk. It's not supposed to be, and you're not the same person anymore. The reason why getting drunk isn't fun anymore is because you're maturing into a better version of yourself. After reading over 10,000 comments here in this community, I've learned that some people just don't push themselves or challenge themselves to do more or to be more. If your life is just eat, sleep, work, repeat, you're probably gonna drive yourself crazy. Who wouldn't? We just talked about giving sobriety a healthy buddy like sports, exercise, a better diet, picking up new healthy hobbies. But it's our job to remember that idle hands are the enemy. Sitting around and watching TV or just flipping through the news and social media on your phone is a recipe for extreme boredom and disaster. I know that life can seem hard at times, but we only have one life to live. So make sure that it's a life worth living. And stop saying that you're bored. The eighth thing to be aware of in early sobriety is stress. This is a huge one. Do not give in to alcohol at the first sign of stress and anxiety. Remember that stress and anxiety are opportunities to learn new solutions other than grabbing a bottle, which then ends up just leading to drinking yourself to the point that you don't care anymore. Does that sound familiar? We always say that the gateway to addiction is stress from whatever pain and trauma that you maybe had as, say, a child or in a previous relationship or maybe at your job. It's our job to find the silver linings, to look for the positives, and to work on controlling what we can control, which is our feelings, our emotions, and how we respond to them. And if you agree with that, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. The ninth thing to be aware of in early sobriety is the victim mentality. Do not get caught up in the victim mentality, saying things like,
"How come everybody else gets to have fun except for me?"
Maybe think of it this way. How come nobody else is making healthier decisions for themselves except you? Think of the money saved, the opportunities to do bigger and better things, to inspire your friends, to inspire your family, to take those vacations that you always said that you wanted to take but could never afford. Remember how you never had money to do anything that really mattered, but you always somehow had money to get drunk every day, didn't you? I know, me too. I'm willing to bet that the money that you could save in 1 year from alcohol and alcohol-related expenses could be enough money for you and your family to spend a whole week in Hawaii, or maybe to go on a cruise, or to start that business that you always talked about when you were drunk, but never did anything about it because you were always too hungover and tired the next day to care. Remember, you get sober for yourself, and the bonus is everyone else in your life gets to benefit from your sobriety too. And before we get to the 10th and final thing to be aware of in early sobriety, stick around because we have 4 extra bonus tips for those of you in early sobriety. All right, the 10th and final thing to be aware of in early sobriety is getting caught off guard. Don't get caught off guard when people ask you, "How come you're not drinking?" Come on, 1 drink's not gonna hurt. You can go back to being good tomorrow. Own up to it. Don't feel the need to dance around the subject or feel like you're being judged. You're doing something that takes strength, And most people don't have that strength, which is why you probably don't know anyone else who's sober. Take pride in this lifestyle change that you are making for yourself. Personally, whenever I feel awkward about going out to eat and the server or the bartender asks me if I want a beer or some wine, I always like to say this. Feel free to write it down. I'm not drinking tonight, so that means more money for the tip. Trust me, your waiter's gonna laugh every single time, and you're probably gonna get even better service. Now, speaking of tips, here's a few more bonus tips for those of you out there in early sobriety. And by the way, when I say early sobriety, I mean for those of you out there that are still like in the first 3 months or so of sobriety. So bonus tip number 1 for early sobriety is sobriety alone doesn't solve everything. Don't think that just because you started eliminating alcohol from your life, that everything else will be fixed too. You've made some mistakes, you've probably ruffled some feathers, and I'm guessing that you've gotten yourself probably way off track. But when we get lost, we don't stay lost. When we fall down, we don't do what? We don't stay down. And when we get sober, it's our job to do all that we can do to stay sober. Bonus tip number 2 for early sobriety is don't struggle in silence. Don't have so much pride that you wouldn't consider going to an AA meeting or joining an online sobriety group. You could download the I Am Sober app for free and find online meetings all throughout the week, and sometimes even multiple meetings online per day. Also too, we have hundreds of free sobriety videos right here on YouTube that you could binge watch anytime, anywhere. Did I mention that they're free? And if you're looking for a great book on quitting alcohol, we have a whole page on our website with over 50 of the top books on the topic of sobriety. If you want to browse that selection, click on the link at the top corner of this video. And tip number 3 for early sobriety is don't bite off more than you can chew. Meaning don't put so much on your plate, yes, healthy habits included, that you end up stressing yourself out. Think of it like this. You need to budget for stress. Every day is gonna cost you a little bit of stress. And when you're stressed out, guess what happens? Just like a credit card, you start borrowing from energy and from patience that you don't have. And I don't know about you, but how do you act when you're out of energy and out of patience? Probably like a brat. You probably make a ton of bad decisions. And when we're maxed out on stress, what do? We look for easy solutions like alcohol. This is especially relevant during New Year's resolutions. Sobriety is simply a tool to help you better navigate your life. But in this job of rebuilding your own house, you're gonna need more than a hammer. And sobriety will definitely be the hammer that'll help you to nail down some of those loose ends in your life. And last but not least, bonus tip number 4 for those of you in early sobriety is don't quit. If you're not where you want to be in your sobriety journey or any journey, keep going. If you're not seeing the physical health benefits and the mental health benefits, then keep going. If you're still having alcohol cravings every day, then keep going. They definitely become less and less, trust me. Be mindful of your feelings. Be mindful of what's in your control. Learn to let go of what's not in your control because you are your responsibility. Your health and your emotional well-being are your responsibility. If it means limiting who you hang out with, do it. If it means passing up on what sounds like a risky but good time, definitely do it. Or even if it means changing jobs or moving to a different city, then do it. This is your montage moment in your life where you get to be the hero of your own story and write the next chapter word for word and day by day. Are you feeling inspired yet? If so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and we always love hearing from you, so don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure that you comment down below what your top 10 activities are to keep your mind off of alcohol. And with that, I want to wish you good luck on your self-improvement journey, and I will see you in the next video. If you want to see another one of our videos, click here.